Good morning and welcome to Walk Before You Run. Today I want to talk about God as a promise keeper. I want to take a look at Joshua 14, verses 6 through 15. I want to read that right now. It says, Then the children of Judah came unto Joshua in Gilgal, and Caleb the son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite said unto him, Thou knowest the thing that the Lord said unto Moses, the man of God, concerning me and thee in Kadesh Barnea. 40 years old was I when Moses, the servant of the Lord, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to espy out the land, and I brought him word again as it was in mine heart. Nevertheless, my brethren that went up with me made the heart of the people melt, but I wholly followed the Lord my God. And Moses sware on that day, saying, Surely the land whereon thy feet have trodden shall be thine inheritance, and thy children's forever, because thou hast wholly followed the Lord my God. And now, behold, the Lord had kept me alive, as he said, these 40 and 5 years, even since the Lord spake this word unto Moses, while the children of Israel wandered in the wilderness. Israel wandered in the wilderness, and how low I am this day, 85 years old. As yet I am as strong this day as I was in the day that Moses sent me. As my strength was then, even so is my strength now, for war both to go out and to come in. Now therefore give me this mountain whereof the Lord spake in that day. For thou heardest in that day how the Anakim were there, and that the cities were great and fenced. If so be the Lord will be with me, then I shall be able to drive them out, as the Lord said. And Moses blessed him and gave unto Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, Hebron for an inheritance. Hebron therefore became the inheritance of Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite, unto this day, because that he wholly followed the Lord God of Israel. And the name of Hebron before was Kirath Arba, which Arba was a great man among the Anakim, and the land has rest from war. Now, this is the story of when Caleb was given the land of Hebron, and he was promised this land 40 years prior to this happening right now, over 40 years. Caleb, he was a Kenizzite of the tribe of Judah. Now, 45 years earlier, Caleb showed himself to be faithful, obedient, and trusting. Now, Caleb is counting on the faithfulness of God and the obedience of Joshua. I'm going to go back to 45 years earlier. That's when the children of Israel were coming out of the wilderness, and God had shown them the land that he was going to give them, shown it to Moses. And so Moses sent some spies over. He sent 12 spies and told them, go look at the land that God has promised us and come back and tell me what you see. All 12 went. 10 came back and said, there are giants in the land. It's a beautiful land, but there are giants and we're no match for them. But Joshua and Caleb said, we saw the giants, but we also remember what God said. God said that the land is ours and it's worth going in and getting, because they had grapes that it would take 2 men to carry. and the land is flowing with milk and honey. And so it was Caleb and Joshua trusting God that gave a different report. They saw the same thing that the others saw, but they saw it through different eyes because they saw it through trusting eyes, trusting God to do what God said He would do. And so, what I like about this is that you're never going to outlive a promise that God has made. You are going to benefit from what God has said. And it reminds me of a message that I heard my father preach. And the title was, You're Never Going to Be Too Old to Enjoy the Blessings that God has stored up for you. And so, even though Caleb was 85 years old, he was getting ready to enjoy a promise that was made to him 45 years ago. And that just lets me know that we can't give up. If God has promised something in your life and you know that God has given you His word on something, don't give up. If you ask God for something and you are being like Caleb, trusting, obedient, and faithful, don't worry about the situation or the circumstances that stand before you, no matter how wide they are, no matter how high they are, no matter how deep they are, because you have a God who is wider, taller, stronger, bigger than any situation or problem that you can face when you're walking in His will, going toward your promised land. God is able to keep you and to keep you against all things that come against you, even those things that seem like walls that are 30 miles wide and 50 feet deep. Don't worry about walls that are in your path because God is able. He is a mighty God and He's able. And I also like the fact that um, Joshua was still being the man of character that he was 45 years prior because he remembered the words that were uttered. He remembered the faithfulness of Caleb. And Caleb could count on Joshua doing what Joshua was supposed to do because he was with him when Joshua stood against all odds, when he stood against the masses and the crowds and said, What thus saith the Lord. And when he spoke uh, through faithfulness, Caleb stood with him and he remembered the man that Joshua was back then, that Joshua had shown himself. And so he was not afraid to go to him and remind him of a promise that God made. And Joshua honored that promise because God had kept him and he had been faithful to God and God had been faithful to him. And so Joshua honored that God had promised Caleb. And Caleb was able to enjoy the benefits of obedience. And so, sometimes when it seems like promises are further away than you can imagine, you have to hold on to the trust in God, that God is going to work things together for your good. That if he gave you a promise, God says that His word does not return to Him void, that His word is going to work it out in your life and bless you. So that's all I wanted to share with you today. Joshua 14:6-15 is really powerful and it just shows that our God is a promise keeper. So thank you for joining me today. Remember to walk before you run. And also remember that you are blessed to be a blessing. I'll see you next time. And the next time we meet, I will have a special guest a couple of times while I allow my body to continue to heal. So I'll see you next time. Bye.